Deep in the New Jersey Pine Barrens is said to exist a terrifying creature that is the epitome of evil. Stories of this creature have existed for thousands of years. The Native Americans named the place it calls home Popuessing, or Place of the Dragon. Later, Swedish explorers named it Drakekill, Drake being the Swedish word for dragon, and kill meaning channel of water. Centuries later, settlers in the area would report a large, dangerous winged creature that stalked them and their livestock. And according to recent reports, it's back. Join us as we discuss the terrifying legend of the Jersey Devil. It was a stormy night in 1735, and Jane Leeds, surrounded by her friends and family, was in labour with her 13th child. When she first found out she was pregnant, she uttered the words, "Let it be the devil." Little did she know how prophetic those words would be. At first, the birth was normal, and Jane Leeds, later to become known as Mother Leeds, was handed what appeared to be a normal baby boy. But within minutes, her prophecy of mothering a devil would become a horrifying reality. Horns spouted from the top of its head, talon-like claws ripped through the tips of its fingers, and its feet transformed into hooves. Leathery bat-like wings unfurled from its back, and hair and feathers spouted all over the child's body, and a forked tail grew from behind. Its eyes glowed red with the fury of the fires of hell. Then the monster snarled and savagely attacked and killed its own mother, before turning on the terrified friends and midwives present. It flew at them, clawing, biting and shrieking, and tore them all, limb from limb. The monster then knocked down the door to the next room, where his father and siblings cowered in fear and attacked, killing as many of them as it could. Those who survived to tell the tale watched in horror as it released one final screech and unfolded its wings and flew up the chimney into the Pine Barrens, where it has lived ever since. In 1740, terrified Pine Barren residents persuaded a priest to exorcise the Jersey Devil. The exorcism failed to expel the creature from the Pine Barrens, but it protected against the devil's aggression for 100 years, although this wouldn't stop the sightings. The first recorded sighting since the exorcism was in the early 1800s, when Commodore Stephen Decatur was testing cannonballs forged at Hanover Ironworks in the Pine Barrens. He spotted a strange creature flying nearby and fired a cannonball at it. The cannonball blew a hole through the wing of the creature, but it flew away, otherwise unharmed. In 1820, Joseph Bonaparte, elder brother of Napoleon, would have his own encounter with the Jersey Devil. He was hunting in the woods near his house when he noticed some unusual tracks on the ground. They looked like the tracks of a bipedal donkey. He followed the tracks, but they ended abruptly, as if the creature had flown away. At that moment, he heard an aggressive hissing noise coming from behind him. When he turned in the direction of the noise, he found himself face to face with a large winged creature with a horse-like head and bird-like legs. Astonished and frightened, he froze and stared at the beast. For a moment, neither of them moved. Then the creature hissed at him, beat its wings, and flew away. The spate of sightings that cemented the legend of the Jersey Devil occurred between the 16th and the 23rd of January 1909, when there were literally thousands of reports of a creature with bat-like wings, a horse head, claws, and the general air of a dragon in the Pine Barrens. Among those encounters were reports of the creature described as looking like a large, flying kangaroo, attacking a trolley car full of passengers in the Hayden Heights. There was another report of the creature in Burlington, when witnesses watched a creature of a similar description scurry across the tracks in front of their car. A few days later, it appeared in Camden and attacked a late-night meeting of a social club and then flew away. That entire week, people reported that their livestock, particularly chickens, were being slaughtered. Mrs. Swabinsky of Camden heard a commotion in her backyard and saw the Jersey Devil with her dog in its grasp. She hit it with her broomstick until it dropped the dog and flew off into the night. There were even accounts of the police in Camden and Bristol, Pennsylvania encountering and firing upon the creature, although their bullets had no effect. The fear reached new heights following reports of unidentified footprints in the snow, as photographed and reported in several newspapers. The mysterious footprints went over and under fences, through fields and backyards, and across the rooftops of houses. They were even reported in the large cities of Camden and Philadelphia. As panic spread, groups of scared locals formed posses, determined to track down the creature, but attempts to follow its tracks were thwarted when tracker dogs refused to even go near the footprints. The nature of the prints and the fear the dogs felt have eerie parallels with the phenomena of the devil's footprints, as reported in England 60 years earlier. The case of the devil's footprints in England is covered in more detail in an earlier video on this channel. The widespread newspaper coverage created a fear throughout the region that was so intense, people were afraid to leave their homes. This prompted a number of schools to close, and people were even refusing to go to work. Sightings would continue in the coming decades, although nothing would reach the hysteria wrought by the occurrences of 1909. In December 1925, a local farmer shot an unidentified animal as it attempted to steal his chickens, and then photographed the corpse. Afterwards he claimed that none of the 100 people he showed it to could identify it. In 1934, near Pittsburgh, Tennessee, a phantom kangaroo, or kangaroo-like beast, was reported by several witnesses over a 5-day period. It was said to have killed and partially devoured several animals, including ducks, geese, a German Shephard police dog, among other dogs. In 1951, a 10-year-old boy saw it at his window, with blood dripping from its face. Days later, hoof prints appeared, and otherworldly sounds were heard coming from the woods. One of the most frightening and inexplicable incidents regarding the Jersey Devil happened in 1966. A farmer by the name of Stephen Silcock opened his shed to see his poultry and livestock of 31 ducks and 3 geese, all killed. Most disturbingly were the 2 German Shepherds that were meant to protect the animals had also been torn to pieces. One of the 90-pound German Shepherds had its throat ripped out. It was reported to the police, but there has never been an explanation for the occurrence. What makes this particularly strange is that it's very unusual behaviour for a predator to open the doors to sheds, kill everything inside, including 2 90-pound German Shepherds, and then leave, while closing the door behind it. In 1980, Alan McFarlane, Chief Ranger of the Wharton State Forest for over 20 years, went to a farmer's house to investigate the deaths of 4 pigs. When he arrived, he found the 4 pigs lying dead close to their pen. The back of their heads had been eaten out, and there were scratches all over their bodies. There were no tracks or blood on the ground. There has never been an explanation for what happened. In 1987, in Vinland, New Jersey, a German Shephard was found torn apart and the body gnawed upon. Whatever attacked the animal had enough strength to break the dog's chains and dump the body 25 feet from where it was chained up. They discovered strange tracks around the body of the dog that no one could identify. In 2004, Maria Castellano was driving on Route 9 when she reported seeing what she described as a tall creature with glowing red eyes and rubbery wings that screeched at her before flying away. In 2008, Jesse DeMoli saw the creature on the hood of a wrecked car as he exited near Hazlitt, New Jersey. He described the creature as being like a bat with a huge pointed tail, more like a dragon, with the face of a bat or a cat. In 2015, David Black was driving home one evening when he saw a creature running outside. When he got closer, he noticed that the creature looked unusual, so he pulled out his camera and captured a photo of a large winged creature mid-flight. Unfortunately, the photo has been dismissed as fake, despite David Black's insistence that the photo is genuine. So has the Jersey Devil returned? Some would say it never went away. While skeptics point to the lack of physical evidence for the existence of such a creature, or put the sightings down to misidentification and mass hysteria, believers would argue that can it really be just a coincidence that the Native Americans and Swedish explorers named the place after a dragon? What compelled 2 separate cultures to label the Pine Barrens as being home to a large, dangerous, clawed and winged creature that they describe as dragon-like? Something which shares striking similarities with contemporary descriptions of the Jersey Devil. Can thousands of reports of the same sort of creature, dating back thousands of years, all be dismissed so easily? Perhaps there is something dark and evil lurking in the vastness of the woods of New Jersey. But for now, whatever is stalking the Pine Barrens is likely to remain unexplained. If you enjoyed this episode, please remember to like, share and subscribe. We upload at least twice a week, so that way you won't miss any future episodes. And if you've made it this far, thank you very much for listening.